Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePoce, and today is the 17th of January, 2024, and we are on the precipice of one of the biggest astrological shifts of the year and really of the next several years. We have the Sun-Pluto conjunction set to unfold at 0 degrees of Aquarius on Saturday, the 20th of January, and needless to say, markets already seem to be reacting accordingly. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we can start off by looking at the Dow Jones, which is coming down off of its all-time high. We've now been correcting for the last 2 days. You know, the Dow was the only index to make a new all-time high last week, while the S&P and NASDAQ futures did not. But this week, we've only seen the Dow make a new low and take out that low from the 8th of January. So markets are in a pretty choppy range right now. You know, last week we had the trine on Friday between Mars and Jupiter. And later this week, we will have a square between Venus and Neptune. That's going to be on the 19th. So I think we have to be really attentive to stock markets, currency markets in this time, because we could see some big reversals. And needless to say, we've seen some big moves in the US dollar, which we will get to in just a moment. But take a look here at the NASDAQ cash index. We are down again, too, after forming what appears to be a secondary lower high. Now, we are late in some key cycles in stock markets, and downside risks are mounting, especially as we look forward into the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April. But I want to jump over to XLK, the technology sector, because we still continue to see tech outperform. And I think that's going to be a big part of Pluto in Aquarius over the next several months. We do have a brief retrograde period where Pluto goes back into Capricorn for about 3 weeks in the September time period. But needless to say, there will be an even greater transformation unfolding in the tech space. And Aquarius rules the individual, it rules technology, innovation. All this innovation and technological development could come at a cost, right? Let's not forget the symbol of Aquarius, which is the water bearer. So, you know, it's not like there's going to be total liberation. There might even be some heavy burdens to carry, because let's not forget that Saturn is the classical ruler of Aquarius. So we cannot neglect that important symbolism either. So needless to say, I'm not totally discouraged about the price action in the stock market right now, with tech holding up relatively well. That said, we are getting late in some cycles where some downside risks could be mounting. Let's take a look at crude oil using USO as a proxy. Still in some congestion here near the cycle lows, and that is generally bearish. But with Venus set to square Neptune later this week, need to be alert for a reversal of some sort. I don't want to attribute it to the 12th here of January. That may have been related to Mars trine Jupiter, which is the co-ruler. Jupiter, that is the co-ruler of energy. So let's see how this shakes out going into later this week. If we are dropping into Venus square Neptune, could see a low, but there are some risks of some longer term cycles culminating here as well. I want to take a look at interest rates. 10-year Treasury yield is still rising a little bit here, and it does seem to be a corrective rally right now. I think with you know, Pluto going into Aquarius, there could be some significant changes in monetary policy. You know, there is seemingly going to be a Fed pivot. They're going to start lowering interest rates again in the next couple of months. But I think a shift more away from propping up corporations and businesses, which is representative of the sign of Capricorn, more towards individuals. And Ray and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I think, you know, UBI and stimulus payments to the individual will be a more common form of you know, governments trying to stimulate the economy versus, you know, quantitative easing, which seemed to be a phenomenon of Pluto in Capricorn. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is pulling back hard here. It is in the time band for an important cycle low, so we'll keep an eye on that with this Neptune signature coming up. It's not uncommon to see important cycle lows unfold in gold or precious metals during that time. I also want to bring attention to the uranium sector, which broke out to a new high this week. It is giving back some of those gains, but uranium could especially be important when you consider the qualitative aspects of Jupiter and Uranus. You know, Jupiter does have a rulership, not just of crude oil, but energy in general. So, electromagnetic energy, for example. And then Uranus obviously rules nuclear energies. So that conjunction between those two, perhaps we are on the precipice of a meaningful breakthrough in nuclear energy that could make it more economical for widespread use in the economy. So the uranium sector seems to be behaving in that manner, and it is one of the few bright spots in the market right now. Let's take a look at the euro against the dollar. The dollar is accelerating its rally against the euro. In other words, the exchange rate is falling. Good chance that this was the highest significance potential primary cycle crest on the 28th of December. If the dollar starts rallying, we've seen stocks rally so much off the dollar's weakness, it will be pivotal to see whether this stock market rally can continue with dollar strength. And I think it's going to be the ultimate test as it pertains to the sustainability of this rally. Last and certainly not least, let's take a look at Bitcoin. On our daily report, we did manage to scale out of our final long position near the highs here, our upside target, as we've been sharing in these videos, was in the $48,000 to $50,000 area. The high in the cash market here was at $49,054. So that satisfied our upside price objective. We knew we were in late stages of long-term cycles, and we were in a reversal zone during this time. It was actually right on the January 11th CRD period. So as it stands right now, we think that there's elevated downside risks in Bitcoin, not really giving much care to the fact that the ETFs are here, that the halving is coming up. I would argue that's already priced in. So all market participants are behaving and acting on that information that is available to the public. And so it would make sense that, it could be a situation of buy the rumor, sell the news, and it seems to have worked. Again, that being said, Ethereum doesn't look as weak as Bitcoin. It is in a newer 15-month cycle. So don't be surprised if Ethereum continues to hold up better than Bitcoin in the coming weeks and months. That said, could be a half primary cycle crest here at the least, whereby we see a multi-week corrective decline. So those are all the markets that I wanted to cover with you today. Thank you so much for stopping by to the MMA YouTube channel. You can find all of our work, reports, and courses on our trading strategy at www.mmacycles.com. Early next week, we will have the publication of the monthly Shanghai report, as well as the monthly ETF report. So those can be found at www.mmacycles.com. So that's all for now, everyone. Thank you for watching. We'll see you same time, same place next week.